Yay! All right. So I'm here today with Tony Bernardo, Executive Director of the Canadian Shooting Sports Association, to discuss the insurance policy that he announced on Wednesday, which I think is a really big deal. So, Tony, would you please tell me and everyone watching what this new insurance product is and why it's so important for gun owners?
Okay, it's a fire and theft and loss policy for general insurance, just like you would have for, say, items that were in your home. The difference is it's specific to firearms. It's very inexpensive. The results of the payouts are generous in terms of what you're actually paying for it. Very specifically suited to firearms owners, because we've had in the past situations where insurance companies either didn't want to insure someone because they had firearms,
Right.
or they changed the insurance because they had firearms. And either way, do you really want the insurance company having that information?
So you're telling me that there's a number of insurance companies in Canada that under your house insurance policy, your firearms are not covered.
There are some that have limited coverages, and there are some insurance companies in Canada that will refuse you insurance if you have firearms in your home or you hand load ammunition.
Okay.
Yep.
Um, yeah, that really works for me, given that I'm in a place where I actually can't get fire insurance because I'm not within X number of
Right.
meters of fire hydrants. So cool.
Yep.
So the obvious question that most people will have about this is that means I have to give them a list of my guns, and I'm not going not.
No.
Okay.
No, that was one of the things that when we were designing the policy, it was absolutely a no-go. The
Yeah.
insurance company said at the beginning, "Oh, sure, we'll insure just about anything as long as we have a list of what it is we're insuring."
Right.
We said, "Absolutely no.
Okay.
We don't want to start another gun registry, particularly one in the hands of a private insurance company, because you have no idea who has access to that information."
Right. Right.
Right. And so we didn't want to do that. We worked out something that we thought was a much more equitable system, and the insurance company agreed, and we were able to move forward from there.
Okay. So if there's no list required, how do we, if I need to make a claim, for example, how would I prove to the insurance company that I actually own the guns that I'm claiming on my insurance claim?
Okay, this is an easy one. When you lose a firearm,
Yeah.
or it's stolen, or it's burned up in a fire, at any kind of loss of a firearm, you are required by law to report this to the police. There's
Right.
a police report, and the police report will specify all the firearms that you lost.
Okay.
Now, you have to do this. If you don't fill out this police report, you can go to jail. You can face some pretty serious legal penalties if you don't report a lost or stolen firearm.
Obviously.
The
Yeah.
other thing is, you can't lie on the form. You can go to jail for a couple of years for that too. So, given the consequences of filing a false report,
Police report.
the
Yeah.
insurance company was able to see their way clear to using that police report as the basis for the claims.
So what levels of my understanding from your press release was that you can buy various levels of coverage. Talk to me about that.
Yes. Okay. Well, the base policy at $60 is $25,000 worth of coverage
Okay.
on your firearms. Now, if you have $50,000 worth of guns, well, you're only going to get 25,000 covered. Okay, because that's what you
Problem.
paid for. But if you want to insure the 50,000, it's $30 a thousand more.
Okay.
Oh, it's not, sorry, $30 for 25,000 more.
Right.
So you move from $60 to $90, and you go from 25,000 to 50,000. Another $30 moves you from 50,000 to 75,000. If
Right.
you have more than that, we're asking that you call the broker directly, and they'll work it out for you, but they can insure it. So that's great.
So this is going to cover most people's collections pretty simply then. Um,
Absolutely.
Tell me about the
Absolutely.
application process then. What's that like?
Online. Online. And there's
Completely online.
no requirement to give them anything but your basic information, and you don't have to report the makes or models or serial numbers of the types of firearms. As I said before,
Mhm.
this is all part of the police report system. That's where that information is gained.
Cool.
So you don't have to do that. You can do it all online. You don't even talk to a human being, and wham bam, and it's done. So I mean, it's a very simple thing. So one of the ways that we're able to keep the cost of the insurance down is because you don't ever have to talk to a real human being.
Okay.
Anytime you enter an employee into this, now you're dealing with time and staff hours.
Right.
By automating the system, like has been done, you don't have that as an expense. So we were able to keep the cost way down. I think most people would agree that $60 for $25,000 worth of insurance on your gun is pretty cheap.
And that's going to cover probably the vast majority of firearms owners, just the base policy, isn't it?
Yeah, just the base policy. But even if you need more, it's not prohibitively expensive.
Sure.
So what we're recommending, one of the other products that we have is the Firearms Legal Defense Insurance.
Yeah, I love that
And
program.
yeah, it's a wonderful program. It's been time proven. It's also insured by the same company, although it's not owned by the same company. It's owned by our friend Brian Lovig. And for those people out there who
Right.
don't know Brian Lovig, well, you should know Brian Lovig, because Brian has been a stalwart on our issue for more years than I can count right now. Brian is an absolute awesome man. He has a internet radio show, or I guess internet television show,
Yeah.
and he broadcasts daily. He's constantly including stuff in there about firearms owners, and he's been a great friend to Canada's gun owners. He and his brother saw the need for the firearms legal defense insurance. So
Mhm.
Brian and his brother Grant put the company together to do this. This is absolutely groundbreaking,
It is.
and what it does is it provides, I believe it's up to $500,000 now that
It's
you
getting
can.
better every year, doesn't it?
Yeah, I might be wrong on that amount, but it's a whole lot of money. I think we started off at 250,000, and it's now been worked up to 500,000 because, surprise, surprise, there's very few claims.
Shocking. Yeah.
Shocking. Yeah, who would believe that? But the Lovigs have done this. We really recommend to our folks, get both.
Yeah.
Cover yourself every which way but Sunday. One covers you for loss of the firearms. The other one covers you in case the police want to do something silly to you, in retribution for you losing your firearms. This way you cover yourself completely.
So I want to ask you two questions. I want to step back to the program we're talking about.
Yeah.
What is actually the name of this program? I don't remember.
GunGuard.
GunGuard. Okay, so I want to talk first about
GunGuard.
GunGuard, then I'm going to go back to firearms legal defense. So
Yeah.
For the cynical among us, of which I'm probably one, what's in it for you in the CSSA by promoting this program? I mean, clearly you must be getting something
Nothing.
out. So
Nothing. We get nothing out of it.
So why are you doing it?
Well, because we believe in protecting our members.
Okay.
Now understand, it's taken 8 years to put this together. CSSA has been trying to offer this to our gun folks for 8 years. It's done in a couple of other countries in the world, but no one's ever done it in Canada.
Okay.
So, when we finally got down to getting serious about it, was probably 8 years ago now, and we couldn't get any traction, but we persevered because this is a good thing for our members. Now, what does CSSA get out of it? Well, a warm, fuzzy feeling. Oh, and we get to advertise it at our expense.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So,
And that's it.
okay. Well, I love that. So what took so long? Why did it take 8 years to get this program off the ground?
The big holdup was the fact that we would not provide a list of the guns.
Okay.
They wanted make, model, serial number, of course. So they do that if you've got musical instruments. They do that if you've got any high-end electronics. I mean, that's how insurance companies work.
Yeah.
To convince them that the firearms stolen could be accurately identified by a police report is a real bonus. It really is. The thing that people have to remember is record what you own.
And how would you recommend people do that?
Well, I mean, you can make a ledger. You can
Right.
make a ledger. You can make photographs. You can do a whole bunch of things, but you need to know that the Remington Model 700 and 300 Winchester Magnum with the loophole scope on it actually existed. So you need to be able to put that in the police report.
Right.
And to do that properly, you need to put make, model, serial number. So make a ledger of your own, keep it in the safe, or you could do it through a spreadsheet, any way you want. Just record it. Just record it so that you know.
Yeah, I had a discussion with the rep for this actually at Capri Insurance, and what he said to me was that the more documentation you have on your firearms, should you need to make a claim, the easier it'll be for them to actually pay out the claim. So what he did
Absolutely.
was doing photographs of your firearms that show make, model, serial number, a spreadsheet ideally of of the same data, including your purchase price. If you had receipts, like literally, he said, the more information you have, the easier it is for them to pay out the claim, which
Totally
makes
true.
sense. Yeah, I mean,
Of course.
yeah.
Makes perfect sense. You got to understand they're a little bit twitchy about anything to do with firearms anyway.
Well,
And fortunately, Capri has been good about this stuff,
yeah.
and they were able to move forward with the program, and that's good for everybody, I think.
Well, I know I've come across a lot of stories over the last probably 2 years, I guess, where insurance company after insurance company is dropping people that have anything to do with guns. So
Yeah, yeah,
in that environment, I find it very interesting that you were able to get this new product off the ground without ever providing a list of guns. That's really quite something.
yeah. It was quite a coup. Yeah, so it's a good product, and we hope that the Canadian firearms community will embrace this product.
That would be, yeah, I can really see the value of it, especially if you have an insurance company that will not cover you for your at all for your if you own guns. So what would you, I suppose the first step then is that if someone's watching this and is considering the program, I guess the first thing to do is to contact their insurance company and see what coverage they have for their existing firearms. Would that be accurate?
No, I don't think so. Even if they have existing coverage that does cover your firearms, the specialty coverage works in the case of what they call a copay.
Okay.
Okay, so what would happen? Let's say your home insurance company does cover firearms, but now you got to identify the firearms, and they may or may not accept a police report.
Okay.
Okay, because these are high value items. Some of them are really high value items.
Yeah.
And they might accept it, they might not. But even if they do accept it, the worst case becomes copay, where they only have to pay half the claim, and
Mhm.
the other insurance would pay half the claim. However, because your other insurance is very, very specifically designed for this exact eventuality,
Yeah.
it's highly unlikely you'd have a copay, which means they're not on the hook for it, which means next year they're probably going to renew your insurance because they didn't have to pay out any claim.
Right. Okay.
Right. And I've told people this before. If you get denied home insurance because of firearms, you're probably not going to get home insurance again.
Brutal.
Yeah, I know. And the insurance companies are brutal. However, Capri seems to understand that firearms owners are not the most evil people on the planet, and of course, their claims history is bearing that out, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I believe it's Australia that has a similar program. Is that, am I
And the United States, the NRA has one too.
okay?
Yeah, yeah,
Do you know what their experience with claims rates are in
they're
general?
low. Yeah, they're just in general, they're very low.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm not sure how the Americans do it in terms of firearms. I think because of less onerous conditions to own firearms in the States, they're probably more than willing to list the guns they own.
Right.
Okay. In Australia, I think they've done it the same way that we have, which is to go down the route of a police report.
Right. So where does a person go to buy this? That's the next question, I suppose.
Well, you can go onto our website, go to the GunGuard page, click on that, and it takes you right through into all the information you need from Capri.
Cool. And I'll throw a link in the description for this live video to make it easy for folks. So that takes you to a GunGuard. And what about Firearms Legal Defense? Where would the person go to buy that?
You can go to the Firearms Legal Defense website, and you can probably even get there from our site. I'm sure we have it on our site in several places.
Now, is there a promo code for either of these programs that you can give people to?
Yeah, you can get a 10% discount through the CSSA by putting in the CSSA promotion code, which is CSSA 001.
That's very difficult.
Because we were the first people in it, so we got number one.
Yeah.
Of course, we've been number one for a long time.
In more than just insurance?
Yeah.
Now, does that promo code apply for both programs?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Does that promo code apply for both of these insurance?
No, only for Firearms Legal Defense.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm unaware of any promo code yet on the GunGuard insurance.
All right. Well, I think that covers it for me. I want to thank you very much for taking the time out of your Saturday morning, Tony.
No problem. Anytime, Christopher. Anytime.
Awesome. Thanks very much.
Thank you for carrying on Dennis's work. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, and my pleasure. It's actually quite an honor to be able to do that. So yeah.
You got big shoes to fill.
Oh! Yeah, I didn't really learn how big they were until Dennis passed away, and it's like, oh my goodness, this is all on me now.
It was very, very sad. Dennis and I were good friends for 20 years.
Exactly.
And of course, most people don't know that Dennis worked for the amazing Gary Breakrights, who is still in the gunfight as part of CSSA's board of directors.
Right. Yeah.
So,
long history, for sure. Long history.
Oh, for sure.
Well, thank you again, and have a great rest of your Saturday.
You're welcome. And you too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.